Good morning. 4K 30. This is the Sony ZV-E1 with the Sony 16mm f2.8, and it's an APS-C lens. Now, I have dynamic active stabilization on. This is the best that Sony can do. I don't know about the 92 excuse me, 893 or the A12. Nice crisp morning, walking around. Black Friday. I'm thinking of getting rid of the Z50 and the Z5. Now, I'm also thinking about getting rid of this camera, and maybe one ZV-1 Mark II, because I don't use it much. But the reason why I'm thinking of keeping it, because I do have the A7S III. This is a better camera than the A7S III. Now, the A7S III has an EVF. It has 2 card slots. Doesn't overheat compared to this one, but in the cold, and this is a white colored camera, this does pretty good. So most people know about Sony's bad stabilization and stuff. Yeah, they got gyro flow, they got catalyst browse, you know, that can fix things. But I look at it also of portability, accessories. So this can take a dummy battery, and I can put it to a power bank, and it'll run a long time. You can put in a long storage SD card. It's excellent. So why would I want even to get rid of this? Because it's a 10-bit camera. It's not an APS-C, which is still good. And plus the fact, I'm going to show you in a moment, I can set this down. Since I already showed you about the stabilization, and talk to it. So I've set this down, step back. Now, watch this. And tight, there we go. And there we go. So now, what you're looking at, this is a 16mm lens, pancake. What this camera can do is it doesn't go into crop mode. This is full frame mode. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Hopefully you don't see any vignetting and stuff. With dynamic active stabilization, it gets rid of the vignetting and anything on the side. I am now going to put on another lens, and it's going to be a 24mm full frame lens. To show you the difference is when I would crop this, it would look like a 24mm lens. But the neat capability of this camera is this is a 16mm at full frame, and it's not cropped. It's only a 12 megapixel camera, but this is what makes it so special. Usually when you crop, you lose megapixels and stuff. You might lose some megabyte storage, but still it's 12 megapixels, okay? So right now I'm going to put on a Tamron 24mm f2.8, and let's see if there's a difference. I might even put on the 20mm just to bring it up. So I'll try the 20mm, and then I'll try the 24mm, and then I'll try the 35mm. And what I like about the 16 millimeter, it's so wide. The Canon RF on the 16 millimeter is the only full frame lens I know small, or that I own. I've heard of the Leica 10 millimeter and a couple others, but some of those are APS-C. On the full frame, they're usually how you call it, you know, when the bulb sticks out and you get kind of like a bubble effect of the glass. So anyway, long story short, here's the next lens. Now, as you can see, I'm a little bit bigger. I have not changed any settings. This is a 2.8 lens. Yeah, all the Tamrons are 2.8. Wow. Okay. So this little lens, APS-C, a 2.8 16 millimeter. This is now a 20 millimeter, 2.8, and just a little bit bigger, still wide field of view, so I'm going to walk around a little bit to show you the difference. This is an actual full frame lens. 16 millimeter wasn't bad, but the difference is with the full frame lens, you won't see any edges if I walk around, and if I move the camera a little bit, you won't see the edges or any vignetting. But with dynamic active, okay, which is the best stabilization, I do fill up the screen a lot more than the 16 millimeter. But in the shade, and I really can't trust the LCD screen because they're lousy. You know, the newer ones like the A7R5, maybe the A9 III, A1 II might be better, but this still isn't a good representation, because if you look at the LCD screen and then you realize, hey, something's off, unless it's your white balance or something, the LCD screen doesn't really show what you get when you put it in the studio and you start working on the either your photos or your video. So I'm walking around. This is still wide. I would usually stop at 20 millimeter because I like the wide field of view. Now, I noticed that on my Nikon and the S9, S5 to S5 2X or whatever, that the 20 millimeter is a little bit wider. But when you get to 4K 60, they crop. This one doesn't. Okay. So the only crop basically is, I think, the dynamic active. Pretty good. 20 millimeter. How do I look? So this is just a quick one on this camera. Now I'm going to put on the Tamron 24 millimeter f2.8. And this one has a lens cut too. But you can see how bright it is. This November 29th, Black Friday morning. So I'm still pretty far away, you know, kind of sitting back. But the 16 millimeter, I was just, you can see a little bit more. So now I'm going to put on the 24 millimeter.